Today on the podcast, we have a triple world record holder and also old friend of mine, Josh Kohler. Now, Josh actually started his journey in videography and photography. He traveled the world and captured the world. And at some point, Josh thought, how do I make this a little bit more exciting? How do I make this a little bit more insane? I've got a great idea. I'm going to cycle round the world with my dad. And in the process, I'm going to win 3 world records. Honestly, this catch up with Josh was absolutely incredible. Not only is he an old friend of mine, but he's a total inspiration. He shows people what you can do if you push the limits of endurance and what's possible when you commit to something truly extraordinary. But beyond all the records and the miles that he cycled, I was more interested in what was going on behind the scenes. What were the highs? What were the lows? What really went wrong and what really went right? And also, how does a 22-year-old, Josh was 22 at the time of starting this, how does a 22-year-old have the mental resilience for this? This is going to be a really in-depth episode into Josh's psyche and how he operates. And truly, I don't just say this for anyone, he really is an inspiration to me and so many others. But before we start, if you could do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button, 5-star button, whatever it is, wherever you are, I'd really appreciate it. It honestly helps us so much more than you know. And the more likes and 5 stars and all that kind of boring stuff we get, the more incredible guests we can get on the podcasts, just like Josh. So I'd really, really appreciate your support in that. And thank you for your support in that. Now, without further ado, my name is Harrison Brown. This is the Into the Mind podcast. And let's welcome Josh Kohler. So, around the world, 3 world records. How the hell did that happen?
I don't know.
How did you plan it? What was the planning process like? Talk me through that first.
Well, the idea came about, 4 years ago, Dad and I cycled across the US.
So you were 19 years old?
I was 19 years old.
Jesus Christ, I feel so old.
But before that, when we came up with the idea for that, we didn't even own bikes. Like, we're not cyclists.
Okay.
We're just a father and son that decided to go on a little bike ride. So we
little bike ride.
Yeah. So we cycled across the US. That took 3 months and was incredible. And then came home from that. I started traveling, met you. Oh no, I met you just before that, but yeah, we did our trips and whatever. Dad went his own way. And then about 3 years later, we were just back together. I was back home and we were like, well, what do we do next? What's bigger and better than cycling across the US? So originally the plan was fly to Singapore with our bikes and cycle home. So basically across the Eurasian landmass.
Would that have been a world record as well?
I don't think so. At this point, we hadn't looked into like world records or anything. Okay. So we were just like, why don't we do that? That sounds fun. Take about 6 months. And then the more we thought about it, and we started planning it out. Like we had a whole timeline and everything. We were looking at like when we would start and everything. But then we thought, if we just add a couple more continents on, we'll go all the way around the world.
You're describing it as if it's easy. It sounds miserable. Well, not like, because part of the way you described it was like you experienced so much of the world with your dad. But then also part of the way you described it was some of it was fucking tough.
Oh yeah.
Like some of it was really tricky. I mean, people would have seen the social media stuff. People would have seen the Instagram reels and the YouTube videos and the exciting things that I don't know if we're allowed to mention that, but are coming.
Yeah.
But take me back to like the initial planning stage, right? So you and your dad go, I've got an idea, add a couple more continents and we'll go around the world. How did you plan that? Was it just like we spend 60 days here, 30 days here?
So we were then doing some research into it.
Right.
About who's done it before, what like a normal route to do. Because obviously there's countries you can't go to. We realized we're going to have to fly at certain points. So like where do we have to fly? And then after some research, we realized no father and son has ever done it. No father and son's ever attempted to cycle around the world. So we then got in contact with Guinness and told them what we were doing. And they said that, yeah, no one's done it before. So they like sent us the documents, all the requirements for the records. So it's like a 16-page document for each record that we had to like...
And you had to like sign...
Yeah, so we had to, And then basically they were the rules that we had to keep to over the trip. And it was a lot. But yeah, we just started planning, planned the rough route of where we wanted to go. The timeline, we originally set out to do it in a year.
Right.
But we were flexible. Like we didn't want to hold ourselves to that because things happen. So yeah, we kind of said a year-ish to 14 months. And then we set a start date and kind of just went from there. We didn't do too much planning in terms of the route because we knew that changes and like we didn't want to.
So the route was more flexible.
The route was flexible, yeah.
Because you knew that some of the countries you were going into might have been, you wouldn't have been able to get from A to B. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we knew roughly the countries we wanted to go to.
Right.
It was just like the day-to-day route we didn't plan.
Ah, okay.
So we would know like roughly where we wanted to be, and roughly when we would be there.
Right.
And then we sort of worked our way backwards to the start point.
Oh, okay.
And then some places like China, we needed a visa for. Like from the beginning, I was like, China, we have to do China. You don't see much about it on media.
Was that your favorite?
Yeah. China was by far our favorite country. And I'm so glad we did it. But like the visa process to get into China at the time was pretty challenging.
Pretty difficult.
Because we had to apply online and fill in like go through this 50-page document, like signing all these things and agreeing to everything. Then you need an itinerary and you need a trip booked to get the visa. So you need flights in and out and accommodation for your whole trip. Obviously, we're cycling in and we don't know where we're staying.
So you had to make. Did you make?
So we made a fake itinerary. We booked flights from like South Korea to China, like Beijing and back again, and booked accommodation for 60 days because there's two visas: there's the 30-day visa and the 90-day visa. Okay. And so you have to have the trip long enough so you can qualify for the 90-day visa. So we booked like a 65-day trip on Booking.com, booked refundable flights. We then went down to the visa office in London, presented everything, like all the documents, our fake trip. They interviewed us. Funnily enough, they interviewed me first and they were grilling me for like, what do you do for work? Oh, I make videos and stuff. Oh, you can't take videos here. Like you've got to be really careful. And then they came to Dad and we thought, Dad, ex-military, they're going to be really grilling him.
Yeah.
And he sort of was looking through his document and said, oh, you're ex-army. And the Chinese guy saluted my dad and was like, yep, tick from me, you're fine.
What? Is it just because you were a videographer? Do you think that the whole influencer space they don't really like?
It's so new to them, and they obviously want China to be
private,
be portrayed in a positive light, which I think we did anyway.
So were you allowed to film there?
Yeah. So they were just basically, we can't interact with any Chinese media companies. So like if the news wanted to interview us or whatever, we couldn't do that. But this is what they said. Like,
yeah.
And then we got ticked off. A week later, we had to go back down to the visa office to pick up our passports and had the stamp in our passports. Cancelled everything, all the flights and all of the hotels.
Oh my God!
Meant we were good for China.
That's wild. It is also wild how people can kind of just trick a system, right? We did the same, by the way. This is totally illegal, but like Colombia, they were like, you need flights out, you need this. We just booked a bus across the border,
exactly.
and then you can't cancel it. It's like it's pretty easy to do. Talk me through the because I didn't make the start, but I made the finish line, obviously. But you're about to go on this over a year long adventure with your dad. You're not going to see your girlfriend as much, be able to see her as much. You're not going to be able to see your mum as much. She might travel out at certain occasions. Your friends, you're almost totally isolated from because it's very hard to coordinate where you're going to be when you don't even know where the route is.
Yeah.
Like, what was your initial... Was it excitement when you were heading off, or was it more like apprehension that you're like, oh, fucking hell, this is it's happening?
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of apprehension. The first, like, I didn't want to go. There's a lot of, sad to say goodbye and knowing that I'm not going to see anyone really for a year or so. And then pedaling out of our driveway, you've seen the driveway, and turning right and saying goodbye to everyone. And then we literally rode round the corner, went round and just stopped, and I just burst into tears. As soon as we set off.
Held it together until you were out of sight. And then
Well, the main thing was I forgot to hug my grandparents. Because the first day, like, we set off at like 8 a.m. because we had a ferry to catch. So the first day we were on a pretty tight timeline. That's probably the only day of the whole trip we were on a really tight timeline. So we had to leave at 8. And it was the morning. I mean, I was up at like 4 a.m. getting stuff ready.
And panicking as well.
Yeah. And just in the blur of the moment, I just forgot to hug my grandparents as we set off. Luckily, I'd seen them they come over a couple of days before, and I spent like a good time with them.
Yeah.
But still, I knew they mentioned it, and it was
Yeah. I'll never forget. I mean, we'll rewind to the trip itself, but I'll never forget the video that Kobe made you. And by the way, anyone listening, Kobe is unbelievable. We'll link him in the description. Director, videographer, everything.
He's the best.
He does everything. And he made essentially Josh like this montage of everyone while you were doing the trip that he showed you at the end.
Yeah.
Or was it the beginning of the trip that he showed you at the
No,
end?
he showed us on like the morning on the last day.
Yeah.
So like when we set off from that campsite.
Exactly. Of everyone's, encouragement and reactions to you completing, THREE World Records.
Yeah.
And I've never, honestly, I remember everyone kind of being around you because there's tons of cameras there. And you and your dad start like welling up. And then I look around and everyone else is like just like solitary tears going down. Wild.
Yeah. That was, like I'm not expecting that. And the last day was already emotional. So
yeah.
that didn't help. But
Kobe knows how to get it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, we need the content.
Yeah.
So you cycle off on the first day. You stop, you have a little cry. And then you're on the ferry.
Well.
Oh, shit.
So the first day we were meant to get 3 ferries.
Oh.
So just out of our house, there's a tiny little ferry that goes across the river. So we live in the middle of nowhere in Norfolk, as you've seen.
Yeah.
But to get across this river, there's a tiny little chain ferry, which was fine. Like
Right.
We cycled to there. It's like 5 miles down the road from us. Crossed over that and then started then heading south towards Harwich, where the ferry to Holland is. But the plan was to go to Felixstowe, and then there's a ferry that takes you from there across to Harwich, like across the channel or the estuary, whatever.
Yeah.
And we were probably 20 miles out from there, and we get an email saying that the ferry was not actually running. Because this was like the 29th of March, and for some reason we were able to book it, but then it turns out they don't start running till the 1st of April. But they emailed us about 3 hours before we got there to say this.
Okay.
And then we had to do a 40-mile detour, basically around the whole estuary to get to Harwich to get our ferry. And this was at like 4 p.m. and the ferry was at 8 p.m. on day one.
You were like, you know what, pack it in, cancel the trip, I'm done.
So we were like, are we actually going to make the ferry?
Yeah.
Luckily, we did. We cycled in the dark
on
the first day. I think we did like 9 hours of cycling just on the first day.
Was that the first like reality check?
Yeah.
Because you had this idea of this is going to run so smooth. We've got everything organized. And then all of a sudden, almost the first thing you book doesn't.
Yeah. That was straight away. Yeah.
So reality kind of hit. Yeah. Especially cycling 9 hours in essentially the dark.
Yeah.
You were just like, oh, shit. This is not good.
No. And then onto the ferry. And the ferry is probably 7 hours to get across. But they wake you up at 3 a.m. with the blaring siren saying we're an hour out. So we probably only got about 4 hours sleep. On the first night, after the night before, not having much sleep either. So we were just both knackered.
Oh my God.
And then straight into Europe leg.
So what was the route? So like, talk me through the route. You obviously did China, you did Australia, you did, there's a couple more countries, but what exactly was the route from England, from Norfolk to?
So yeah, we cycled down to the ferry and then across to the Netherlands.
Okay.
And then we kind of just cycled all the way through Europe, finishing in Greece. And then we crossed from Greece into Turkey, across Turkey into Georgia. We then had to fly from Georgia across the Caspian Sea. Ideally, we would have got a ferry from Azerbaijan, but Georgia and Azerbaijan aren't friends, so the border's closed.
Right. Okay.
So we flew to Kazakhstan, and then we cycled through Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, back into Kazakhstan for a bit, and then into China. And it was like 2 months through China, and then came out the other end in Vietnam, all the way through Southeast Asia, all the way down to Singapore. Took a flight to Jakarta. Across Java, finished in Bali, flew from Bali to Perth, across the bottom of Australia in the middle of summer. That was brutal.
Oh my God.
Then we flew from Sydney to Queenstown in New Zealand, did South Island, North Island of New Zealand.
Right.
Then from Auckland, flew to Santiago in Chile, across the Andes and across South America to Rio. And then we flew from Rio to Lisbon and then pedaled home from Lisbon.
Jesus Christ, right? So much to unpack there. Firstly, what was your least favorite country that you cycled through?
Australia.
Why? Everything wants to eat you?
No, to be honest, we didn't actually have that many encounters with. Everyone says like, "Oh, it's so
Spiders
dangerous." Yeah, but like we saw a few spiders, we saw a few snakes, but we didn't really have any. The kangaroos are the biggest threat because they just bounce at you and
smash you in.
But we were there in the middle of summer, and I think we kind of thought we'd spent the last 5-6 months in Asia. And I was looking forward to having a bit more Western comforts again. So I was quite excited to get to Australia.
Like a bed.
Yeah, and normal food, English-speaking people to talk to. And we got to Perth, and set out from Perth, and within half a day, you're just in the middle of nowhere.
It's humongous.
And it is, yeah. And Perth is the most isolated city in the world.
Right.
Like, it's the furthest city from any other city in the world. So I think it was something like 3,000 miles from Perth to Adelaide, which is the closest city. And we had to cycle that in the middle of summer. And there's this thing called the Nullarbor Plain,
right,
which is, it's like 1,200 kilometers long of nothing. There's just gas station roadhouses every like 100 to 200 kilometers.
All right. Does anyone live like?
Only the people that work at these roadhouses. It's just for like the truckers to come through. And it's just on a dead straight road over the desert.
Oh my God.
You know, some days, and the wind was awful. So we were in Australia for 60 days. We had a headwind 55 of those days.
Oh.
And across like the Nullarbor, where normally we could do sort of 150 to 180 kilometers a day pretty comfortably. Like it'd be a long day, but we could do it. But when you've got a headwind, it's impossible. So we were having to sleep in the middle of the outback night after night and just refueling up sort of once every 2 or 3 days.
So you would picture, so to talk me through that then. So you'd get to the side of the road, it would be getting dark. You've done your X amount of kilometers for the day.
Yeah.
Whose decision is it ultimately to be like, right, do we camp or do we try and find somewhere to stay?
So most evenings before, we would plan out where we're aiming for the next day. But then obviously conditions can change.
Yeah.
And it would just be how we're both feeling. Are we both tired? Is this an ideal place to camp? Sometimes you can't be picky. You've just got to put the tent up wherever you are.
I'm guessing from your perspective though, like you would have some form of responsibility with your dad. Because like obviously like you're younger than your dad, right?
Yeah.
Your dad's amazing, by the way. Physical nick of him is unbelievable. But like surely there would be stages where you're like, oh, this is difficult for me. So surely, you know, George is, yeah.
Like I'm physically fitter than just because of age. Like I knew that. So when I was getting tired, I couldn't imagine how he was feeling. Right.
And were you like stopping to make sure he was okay in that scenario, or was he quite determined to be like?
I mean, he's very stubborn and like, you know,
I know.
He says he's going to do something. He's going to, he'll push through the pain.
He's got that military.
Yeah, exactly. So he would always keep up. But there was finding that balance of we don't want to push it too hard. Yeah. Because obviously we've still got, we have to wake up the next day and cycle again. So.
And what were the most important things in your bag then? Obviously the tent is pretty fucking important, but other than that, because you need to pack really light, right?
Yeah, I mean, all up our bikes with all the panniers weighed about 50 kilos each.
That's not much for like how much you're traveling.
Yeah, for a year.
Yeah,
you know, and that's for all weather conditions. So we had rain stuff, snow stuff, all the layers.
Right.
Because we went from temperatures from like -5 all the way up to 45.
Right.
So we needed everything.
Was there any pieces of kit that you would swear by that you were like, this saved my
water
life?
filters?
What? Oh, well, yeah, that's
through sort of the remote parts of Kyrgyzstan and China where there's just nothing. Being able to drink stream water without having to worry about getting ill or anything. That came in handy a lot of times. What else was important? We had these Garmin InReach trackers. Which send a GPS signal every 10 minutes, like a little dot. So mum could always see where we were.
Like pinging almost.
Yeah.
Right.
And like if we didn't have phone service, she'll still be able to know where we were, if we'd stopped, whatever. And they also have a text messaging service on them. So if we didn't have service, we can still message mum being like, we're both okay. We've got him for the night.
Yeah.
Just to give her peace of mind. Yeah. And it has an SOS button on it where anywhere in the world you can press it and like Garmin will then contact the nearest search and rescue team and they'll come get you. So just for peace of mind, It was nice to have that. Yeah. Knowing that if we did somehow get into difficulty, we would be able to get out.
Was there any difficulty?
Not to that extent.
But was there something that happened in China?
In Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan?
So in Turkey.
Are you allowed to talk about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
In Turkey, I had a crack appear in my bike frame and it started getting bigger and bigger and we realized like the frame is gonna at some point completely snap. Luckily we managed to get to Tbilisi in Georgia and then it was trying to source another frame because I need another frame and for the Guinness World Records it has to be the same bike. Like I can't just replace the bike. We have to get the frame.
So that's like a rule.
Yeah, that's one of the requirements.
Right.
And unfortunately, Trek stopped making this bike.
Okay.
So they don't they don't produce this frames anymore. We had to buy one that's already been used or like somewhere. And we did so much research, couldn't find any. The bike's under warranty, and Trek managed to find one from the Netherlands, I think, or somewhere, and sent it to Tbilisi. And another one of the Guinness requirements is that we can't stay still for more than 14 days. And we'd already been in Tbilisi like 5 or 6 days. And then they sent this frame, and we never saw it. It never got to us because it got stuck in customs in Georgia.
Okay.
Luckily, Mum found the only frame in the whole of the UK that was my size. She drove down to London, picked it up, and then flew out with it.
Oh my God.
To Georgia. And then we were able to swap it over and carry on the 14th day.
Jane to save the day. Jesus. So you would if it wasn't for Jane, your mum, you wouldn't have made that. No. Would that have been all 3 of the world records gone?
Yeah.
Because the 14
it'd have been around the world one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But then, so we think that the bike shop in Georgia didn't quite put the bike back together properly. Because when we were then 3 days later cycling through the middle of the desert in Kazakhstan, my bottom bracket seized. So like the bit where the pedals join the frame seized, and we think they tightened it up too much, so it like destroyed the bearings. And I couldn't pedal. Like the pedals just stopped. And we were in the middle, like we'd just done 200 kilometers of nothing in the desert. By some miracle, we were about 7 kilometers out from the only settlement there. And we wheeled the bike.
7 kilometers, you have to wheel the bikes.
And we wheeled the bike into this tiny little train stop, basically. It was like 20 houses, just this little made of dirt in the desert. It was middle of the day, 40 degrees. We got there, and it's like kind of like the local fixer of the village met us and took the bike apart, realized like, we can't carry on. He managed to kind of put it back together without the bearings, so I could kind of get the pedals moving. Right. But we needed to get it fixed. Fortunately, this tiny little settlement was on the train line, and there was a train coming through at midnight going back to the city we'd started 3 days ago. So we managed to get the bikes onto the train. It pulled in at midnight, onto the train, 8 hours back to the city, Aktau.
And then you had to cycle it back.
And then the train station, for some reason, is like 20 kilometers out of the city.
Right.
So it's just in the middle of the desert. So then we cycled it back into the city. And the bike shop that we'd been to a couple of days earlier to get the bikes rebuilt after the flight, somehow had the exact part we needed. And it's quite like a unique part, but they had it. So they were able to put it back together and we could carry on again.
Do you believe in fate when it comes to things like that?
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's pretty... Yeah. The odds of that, firstly, your mum doing the trip down and getting that part out to you for literally on the cusp when you were going to get cut off, and then that, having to get the train down, they had the one part that you needed for a discontinued frame. Yeah. Like to me, that's like, it was fate. Yeah. Things are laid out for us, we just don't know about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's wild. What do you think was your favorite country?
China, for sure.
Why? Chisholm Hunter are the sponsors of the Into the Mind podcast, and without Chisholm Hunter, I would not be sitting here today. Now, interestingly, Josh actually talks about how he tracked a lot of his journey, his adventure with a Garmin watch, and Chisholm Hunter are official stockists of Garmin watches, alongside a ton of different watches. I mean, you've got Tissot, Tag Heuer, Tudor, Omega, Vacheron Constantin, and many, many more. Essentially, if you can think of a watch brand, Chisholm Hunter are probably official stockists. Now, interestingly, in the watch industry, fakes are huge. They're a terrible, terrible thing, and they are everywhere, literally everywhere. And that's why it's so important to have a trusted retailer. Now, I trust Chisholm Hunter. They are the brand that I go to with all my watch purchases, literally hands down. They've been going for over 165 years, and they're still family run, which is just insane. Now, if you're looking for something for yourself or a loved one, head to chisholmhunter.co.uk. That's chisholmhunter.co.uk. And if you're there on the Chisholm Hunter website, use the discount code CHSUB, that's CHSUB, for an exclusive 10% off selected lines. That is CHSUB on the chisholmhunter.co.uk website. That's CHSUB on the chisholmhunter.co.uk website. And without further ado, let's get back to Josh's adventure.
I think we arrived with no expectations. Like, in the West, you kind of just hear negatives about China. There's not much media about it. Not many people go anymore, especially since COVID. So we sort of went with completely open eyes. Just let's see what we see. And from day one. It was such a contrast going from Kazakhstan into China. So you just very rural, quite poor, and then straight into China where there's skyscrapers and it's literally across the border and it's a completely different world. And yeah, China was just overall amazing, so diverse. The people were really, really friendly, which we weren't expecting. People would buy us meals, invite us in, share. I mean, they can't speak English, we can't speak Chinese. So it was all done over Google Translate, but they shared everything with us.
Wow.
And yeah, the country's just beautiful. There's so much to see. Just the culture. It's the first time since I first ever started traveling that I felt like I'm somewhere completely new.
Really?
Like there's no English American influence at all. Everything is in Chinese. It's a really cool place.
Isn't it wild? Because we had obviously you've been doing these challenges, but quite similar jobs, and to when it comes to travel, it gets harder and harder to find places that like shock you, or in a good way, by the way, like take you by surprise or take you aback. Like, it just gets harder and harder to find them. Do you think one of the reasons why China was so special to you and why it did that was because of the lack of expectations? Like you didn't research it. Nobody really goes there. There's nothing online really to see.
Yeah, 100%. And also because China, so if you do go there as a traveler, you go to the same spots and it's very hard to get around not on public transport. So you're kind of constrained to the cities and the main tourist spots, whereas we're on bikes. So we can see parts of China where and people will tell us you're the first white people we've ever met.
Wow.
Because we're in these places that you just can't get to unless you're on the road.
Were you allowed to film?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. And we had a couple of interactions with the police. We were in places that we weren't, apparently not meant to be, where foreigners aren't allowed. So there was a couple of instances where the police picked us up and moved us on.
Or just drove you through?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Was it just tourists aren't allowed in this area?
Apparently.
Isn't that interesting?
It's really weird because it was really annoying as well. We'd spent 2 days climbing up sort of onto the start of the Tibetan Plateau. And so it was getting quite high altitude. We were at, 3,000 meters up. And we'd spent, these 2 days climbing up, reached the top, just taking in the view. It was kind of like a touristy area. There was like Tibetan flags and everything up there. It was really cool. Looking forward to this nice long descent, about 100 kilometer descent. And the police just came up to us. We're like, you can't be here. What do you mean we can't be here?
Is it just because you were white that they just clocked you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, foreigners aren't allowed to. All done over Google Translate. And to begin with, like, Dad and I were both like annoyed.
Yeah.
A little bit probably confrontational, which we shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So we knew like not to be. But obviously when someone tells you can't be here, the first instinct is why not?
Yeah.
And then they said, well, come with us to the police station. You can talk to the chief.
Oh, shit.
So then we rode down to the police station and talked to the chief. And he was like, yeah, foreigners aren't allowed here. Oh, no, he was like, foreigners aren't allowed to stay overnight here. And this was at 5 p.m. And it was their particular county. And it was sort of 100 kilometers or so to the next county, which we couldn't do. Like, we needed somewhere to sleep.
Yeah.
And the annoying thing was, a couple of months earlier, Beijing had released a document that we printed off saying that hotels have to allow foreigners to stay. Because in the past, they've been quite funny. Like, people had been turned away from hotels because they just don't want to deal with foreigners.
And you had that document.
So we had this document from Beijing saying that every hotel in the country has to allow us to stay.
Right. Okay.
And these police were saying, no, not here. That doesn't work. That doesn't apply here. What do you mean? So Dad's got a close friend who's an international lawyer.
Right.
So we phoned her up and she speaks Mandarin and she, has dealt with China in the past. And she said to us 2 things. Don't argue with the police because they can just deport you straight away, just like that.
Yeah.
And secondly, in China, local law has authority on national law. So even though Beijing has got this law, if the local county
deems it not worthy or
then,
not fit,
they can just be like, no, that doesn't apply here.
Wow.
So we were like, well, we're screwed then. There's nothing we can do. So they then they were very nice. Yeah. And they offered to take us in a pickup truck to the next county, to the next city. So we got in the pickup truck and they drove us there.
Isn't that interesting? You wonder why all these conspiracies go round about China.
Yeah.
And the reason is because they're so secretive. And typically what happens in like someone's brain, it's a bit like, see if a doctor spots like a lump on you and is like, I'll tell you in 2 weeks what it is. you spiral because you don't know. It's like everyone has these huge conspiracies about China because they're so secretive. It's probably not as bad as you think, but it's just because it's so secretive that everybody kind of like makes these things up in their head. But you're saying it's pretty like civilized, pretty beautiful.
I mean, they're 50 years ahead of the rest of the world in terms of technology and just how they operate.
Wow.
Like you pay with this thing called WeChat or Alipay. It's just an app on your phone.
Yeah,
and everything is done on that. Even like there's very little homeless, but the people that sort of like working on the streets will just have a QR code for you to scan to send them money.
Is that not quite scary? Like, do you see when you think about that though? Do you not think that's quite scary because it's essentially controlled by the state? Yeah,
everything is tracked.
That's what gets me.
So there's obviously, you know, your freedom or whatever might not be
quite there.
Yeah, but we also felt the safest in China. And there's cameras everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's cameras, which obviously has its negatives, but also it meant that it was completely safe. No one commits crime because you're going to get seen doing it.
And also, I'm guessing that Chinese prisons are horrendous.
Yeah, probably.
Like in the UK, a lot of these guys, they want to be sent to prison.
Yeah.
Because the prisons are
nicer than what they would be.
Right? Yeah, like whereas you hear about Chinese prisons or Vietnamese prisons or Indonesian prisons that are just like, you don't want to fucking go there.
No.
Like, you do not do it. It's not worth it because it's a shithole. Part of me thinks that, like, there's obviously the Western society where there's rights and human rights, and I 100% get that. But you see, when it comes to like proper like murderers, sex offenders, you know, I think that they should be in those shithole conditions because it would repel them from doing the crime.
Yeah.
And like China's a perfect example of that. Having said that, they probably are just like tracking everything. It's pretty scary.
Yeah.
And what about what else? So China was your favorite. What about after that?
I mean, also with China, the funny thing was, sort of when we're about halfway through, we started getting people coming up to us in the streets, just random Chinese people saying, "I know you," and they'd have our faces on their phones, and they'd just come up to us with us and being like, "Look, it's you."
How did they get that?
Turns out, someone was reposting our daily videos on Chinese TikTok and Chinese social media, and they were blowing up.
Oh shit!
So Colby's good friends with a couple of Chinese people, and they looked for us, and we had like 20 million views across some of our videos.
Oh my god!
So people were recognizing us, and even the police that stopped us, one of them said to us, "I've seen you on Chinese TikTok."
Oh my god, they were everywhere.
Yeah.
Is that not wild? Because there's almost like Indonesia as well, and you know, other these countries, they like being around somebody that is white is almost like a status thing.
Yes.
So they film you. Like I've been in
they take pictures like,
Sulawesi. You're just getting filmed all the time by everybody. I'm guessing the same in China.
Yeah. Everyone wants to take a selfie with you. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're also tall.
Yeah.
Dark hair, but like not black. Like it's just like I'm guessing that you're so different.
Yeah.
That they just like they want to see it.
And even my YouTube video. So I'm so far behind on YouTube, but I've just like posted the China series, and my friend the other day sent me a screenshot of Chinese YouTube's equivalent, and like my videos have got millions of views on there.
So your video's being stolen? Is it being taken by the Chinese?
Someone's obviously got access to YouTube,
right?
Has screen recorded or like somehow saved my video, downloaded my video, and then just posted it with Chinese subtitles.
Oh, isn't that annoying? Because then you could have got the views for that.
Yeah, but apparently the monetization isn't great on Chinese platforms, but even still, like it's...
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. How's YouTube been going?
Yeah, it's been going good.
Yeah?
Slow, but I mean, I just don't have the time to edit it.
Yeah. YouTube's a good one, man. Like genuinely, I think it's the most... Because we start, like you're the same, you started on like Instagram and all that kind of stuff. But for me, it was Facebook. That's how fucking old I am. But YouTube's the best platform in terms of longevity.
Yeah.
And also in terms of like skill.
Yes.
Like I feel like people can go viral on Instagram and
you can post a video or whatever and it will go,
Exactly. Whereas people on YouTube, they genuinely reward like good quality videos.
Yeah.
See your video that you did in Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
This is ages ago. Was it Kazakhstan?
Pakistan. Yeah.
Holy shit, that was great.
That's about to hit 1 million views as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
That was so good. Even the intro with the horse going over that was insane. Who edited that for you?
Torren.
Was Torren it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy.
Yeah, we think he might be part of the team to help edit the documentary.
Yeah. And when do you think the documentary is roughly... I mean, you kind of told us earlier, but do you think the same day. Am I allowed to say this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think that's the plan, yeah.
Father's Day next year?
Yeah. So the
Father's
plan
Day
is
next
to, now starting work. It's August at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got about 10 months to put it together with our team and hopefully have it ready for Father's Day next year.
How much footage do you need to go through?
We filmed 400 hours. We need to condense that into 2.
Oh, Jesus Christ. How are you going to make the selects? Are you doing it or are you...
No, I don't. To be honest, I don't want to touch any of the editing.
Okay.
So Colby and I will have like creative direction, and we want to bring in a third person to also help with that. Someone that's not
so close to the project.
Yeah, isn't related to us, doesn't know anything about us. Because obviously I'm going to be biased on what goes in and what doesn't. I don't want to portray myself in a bad light, for example, or if there's like an inside joke that Dad made that I find funny, but to normal people it's not funny. Like I'll put it in, but it doesn't make sense. So we want someone that's hasn't seen any of the footage, doesn't know us, just to be like, yep, that's good, that's not good.
And he's not, because if someone's close to it, I suppose it's very hard to know what to cut.
Yeah. So we've got someone at the moment going through all the footage, cutting out all the rubbish. So then we'll hopefully just have a few 100 hours of selects instead of 400.
A long job. That's wild. And Colby flew out to film most of it. Right? And
so the trip was 400 days.
Yeah.
Took 400 days total, exactly. Colby was with us for like just over 100 days of that in 9 different locations.
And how did you bring cameras around? Because you're a videographer, right? That's how you started. Did you bring cameras with you?
Yeah. So I had just my Sony ZV-1 with me, and I'd ride up, set up on a tripod, ride back, we'd cycle past.
Jesus.
Go back. So I probably cycled twice as much as Dad did over there.
Yeah. Just
we'd do that a couple of times a day to build sequences up and then just try and capture everything that happened.
And what did you bring like in terms of kit? Was it just a 24-70?
I had a 16-35, 24-70, the drone. Dad had a GoPro with like a media mod on it so he could talk to that.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I use my phone for quite a lot, just like the Blackmagic app.
Phone is great.
And it's so easy. It's always there. I could just quickly pick it up. And
what do you mean Blackmagic app?
So it means you can shoot and log.
But the iPhones do that now.
They do, but the file size is ridiculous.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. Whereas Blackmagic, it compresses it. So it's still in log, but it's not so high. Yeah.
Right,
high file
I didn't know
size.
that. And that's just an app you can download.
Yeah.
Oh, top tip for videographers out there.
There we go.
Fucking class. Yeah, I've never actually.
I use it for a B camera as well. Sometimes I'll just set it up and record with that.
There's something about and there's something about, I don't know if you see this as well, but like see quality wise on Instagram or on YouTube, whatever. There's almost like too polished.
Yeah.
And people don't resonate with it anymore. And that's why you see so many videos that I will get pissy about because we're videographers, right? But like you see so many videos that are shot on an iPhone that are not great, but they blow up. And I think it's because people are so accustomed now to the polished, perfected, finished article that they just don't care about it anymore.
No. And also seeing something that the everyday person could film themselves, like the same quality, it kind of resonates more. Like you see a
100%.
phone video, like, that's just a phone video. But
and it's it's not doctored as much as well.
Yeah.
Take me back to what do you think the hardest point was on your around the world trip?
There's a lot. Well,
I need you to cry.
Like overall, obviously it was a physical challenge. Like physically it was demanding. There were days where we were both absolutely exhausted.
See when you came back as well, the physique of you, like you were built like a cyclist. Like it was not a peck of meat to you. It was insane. Anyway, keep going. And
then so there's the physical side, physical challenge. There's the mental challenge, which the longevity of cycling for 400 days. We were on roads where there's nothing. Was also, and we were aware of that because we came across that in the US. So we knew that was also going to be a challenge. But what we weren't prepared for was the emotional challenge. Putting up with each other for 400 days. And I mean, I think it's the same with anyone. You spend 24 hours a day, day after day with anyone, you're going to clash. It doesn't matter who it is. But when it's your dad or your son, I think there's no filter. Like you say exactly what you feel. Like when it's with a friend, you have a bit of a filter. Like there's things you can't say. But when it's father and son, you just, you say what you think.
It's coming out.
Yeah. But then the good thing is, at the end of the day, it's your dad. So you make up. And we had a rule, it was kind of an unwritten rule. I don't think we ever said this, but we never went to sleep angry with each other. We'd always make up before we went to bed.
I've got couples that do that as well. I know couples that are married that do that.
Yeah.
It's a good rule.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because then you you then know the next morning's fresh start, and you go on. And we had some serious arguments. There were like points where we were like at each other. Mum was on the phone, being our therapist. There was one point in China where I can't remember what it was over. There was always something small. It was like, why didn't you stop there for lunch or whatever? Like it was always the tiny things, but then it just escalated. And there was one point in China where we were at each other, and I think I cycled off on my own for like half an hour, and I'd stopped, and Dad caught up with me, and Dad carries the passports. We would just keep them together, keep it safe. And he came up to me, handed me my passport, and was like, "You're on your own. I'm going. I'm finishing this." And he cycled off, and I was just left there with my passport.
He's crying.
But I caught up with him, and like we sort of had a bit of time for ourselves. And that was the thing. We just cycled on our own for an hour or so, think things through, catch back up, and then everything's fine.
Talk me through the relationship with your dad. Because you are very similar. Like, I know that you don't see it, but I've met you and your dad. I've been in close proximity. We went to the bar that night to like chill out. You are a lot more similar than you think. Like, talk me through that relationship. How close did that... Well, firstly, you were close prior, but like, talk me through how close that trip made you.
I mean, incredibly close. Like, and yeah, we've always done stuff together. Like, him and I would go off on ski trips and stuff when I was younger. We obviously did the cycling across America together. But this, I think back then I was only 19, and all those trips I was like a teenager or a child. So I think now, being an adult, more mature, I sort of understand more about Dad's thought process, and I learned a lot from him. We definitely sort of built this incredible bond now, and this like shared respect that I think I'm very, very grateful to have with him.
And what was that like? I mean, so you spend 400 days with your dad, more or less non-stop, right? It's 24 hours a day, every day, more or less.
Yeah. And
then you have this day in Norfolk where you're camping with all your friends. They've all come up to see you. Like, everyone's filming, helping, like whatever. And you're sitting with your dad on the bench, and it's like, it's your last day.
Yeah, that was, I mean, so many emotions on that final day. And for it just to be over, and after this incredible trip, yeah, it was just, it was sad as well. Like, it was exciting, obviously, to have everyone there and have this big finish and everything, but it kind of hit home that what we'd just done, and that time was now coming to an end. And I mean, because like most people, when you leave home at whatever, 18, 19, 20 years old, you never really then spend much time with your parents. Like, you go from seeing them every single day to maybe seeing them a couple of times a year, or depending on how lucky you are to live close to them. You don't see them regularly for extended periods of time. So for me to now spend 400 days just with my dad while I'm 23 years old was very special, for sure.
If you had to say something to him right now, what would you say?
I mean, I guess just thank you. Because I'm, for someone his age to, one, take the time to do that. Most people in their working years will not be able to take, or not have the sort of the confidence and the risk to be able to just
take it,
give up everything and take a year out of their life to do something like this. Also, the fact that he was able to keep up and actually do it. I think not many people in their 50s or 60s would be able to do that. So yeah, he's an incredible person. And
you supposed to, I mean, you were kind of joking about it before when we were at lunch there, or breakfast, but your relationship now, do you still speak to each other every day, or is it a lot more? No. You're like, go away, I don't want to see you anywhere.
Not spoken to, we speak a little bit, but we've sort of taken a bit of time to do our own things. I mean, we're still cool every now and then, and I'm seeing him tomorrow to do a presentation together. And I think as time goes by, we'll then sort of spend more time again together. But for now, it's a much needed break after 400 days together.
No, but you're lucky, man. Like, genuinely, I as you get old, you're 23, right? So I'm 28. I'm catching 30, and I'm like, so I'm ahead of you, and you do start to realize when you're young, mortality just doesn't spring to your mind. It really, really doesn't. But see, when I hit 24, 25, 26, and now all of a sudden I started thinking, fucking hell, like, my parents are getting older. And I was like, so that time that you spent with your dad, and I'm sure there'll be other stuff that's coming up as well, like this presentation, but like, you are going to look back in that and be like, thank the Lord that I took that plunge and did that. because you'll never forget that.
No.
And it'll be something you can tell your kids, like me and your grandpa. Like that's unbelievable.
Yeah, especially now they're getting to the age, where their friends are unfortunately passing away, you know, cancer and all these different things. Like they are starting to be at that age where shit happens, They could, touch wood, hopefully not, but at some point they are going to die, and that's to be able to now look back on this time together is like the most amazing thing.
Yeah, and then you have the documentary as well. Yeah. You have like everything. What was the scariest point? I know that you got arrested. Well, not arrested, but like the police got you in China. Which, by the way, I would have been shitting myself. But like, what was the scariest point for you? Was it seeing like a snake in Australia, or was it like what? Yeah.
There was only one point where I was genuinely scared for my life,
and
that was a day in Java. And Indonesian roads are absolutely awful.
Yeah,
there's just massive trucks going back and forth. And we set out to do like 150k this day, which normally is reasonable, but we ended up, for some reason, our route took us through this forest, this massive forest, and the road started to deteriorate, and eventually it was just like a dirt track through the forest for a couple of hours, and it was turning into dusk, and then it got darker and darker and darker.
No street lights,
nothing, and the hotel was still maybe like 30 kilometers away, so like an hour and a half for us. And we eventually joined the main road, and it started absolutely pissing it down. So it was hammering it down with rain. It was dark, and we were on this main highway. There's no hard shoulders, and you've just got these trucks and buses absolutely thundering past. And I'm constantly, I was sat behind Dad, and I'm constantly looking over my shoulder and just shouting at him, like, if there's something coming, we just get off the road, because we have really bright flashing lights on, but these drivers they drive crazy. For 12, 14 hours a day, and they don't care. Like, they're going straight and they're not moving. And we just kept stopping every like 15, 20 minutes just to like take a breath. And yeah, it was like shit could go wrong pretty quickly out here.
Talk me through we were talking about this earlier as well with the tour that you were filming on, but there is a certain degree of like, you left when you were 22, right?
Yeah.
The resilience that you would have to have as a fucking 20, you're a kid, right? You're like a fetus. But as a 22-year-old, the resilience you would have to have, like, is that something you were born, are you always born stubborn, or was that inherited from your dad, or was it more the fact that people were relying on you? Like, what was the motivation there?
For the trip, there was a couple of motivations. I think one thing that I live by is, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something.
Yeah, you're pretty stubborn.
Yeah.
I know that.
And I think when we came up with the idea, it was kind of, we weren't that serious about it. It was kind of like, yeah, let's just cycle from Singapore back home, and why not? But then once we said it, that was that. It then materialized into, well, what's happened. But on the actual trip, we had 3 key aims for this trip. Firstly, it was to challenge ourselves, which we certainly did. The second was to inspire others, which I think 100%. From the audience we grew, and the final day having 70 cyclists join us, and they come from all over the country to be there with us, was just amazing. And hearing their stories about what we'd inspired them to do was really heartwarming. And then the third was to raise money for UNICEF, so for children around the world who are less fortunate than us. And so when we were going through the tougher moments, it was just thinking about these aims, thinking about what the bigger picture, what we're actually doing. Because this is life in general, not just this challenge, but it's very easy to get caught up in the moment on like the struggles you're going through right now. But when you actually take a step back and look at what's happening and how fortunate we are to be where we are and what we're doing, it then sort of gives you the spark to keep going.
Yeah, it's the zooming out, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of, by the way, business is like this as well. It's you get caught so easily in like you can't see the wood from the trees. You're so in the detail that you can't see the bigger picture. And a lot of the time, and by the way, social media and YouTube, and you'll get this. I got 1 million views in that. That's shit. Yeah. And then you think, that's 1 million people. The Hydro, which is down the road, is like 40,000. I think it's the capacity is 40,000.
Yeah.
Like, you were filling that 20 times over.
Yeah. That's
insane, the amount of people that are actually watching things. But people get numb to it. And they end up not being able to, that zoom out. And they don't maybe have those pillars that you did. Like, this is why we're doing it, A, B, C.
Yeah.
And whenever we're struggling, right, think of the people that are less fortunate than us that we're raising money for. Think of the shit that they're going through. family, you know, inspiring others.
Yeah.
I think the fact that you went into that as a 22-year-old with that mindset, it's like a pretty mature thing to do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like when you look at yourself when you were growing up, because I know it, and I'm saying this because when I was your age, I was, or 22, 21, like I was a bit of an arsehole. like, were you always fairly set, like quite mature? You didn't maybe go out as much, like you wanted to travel, you were quite motivated to do something a bit different?
Yeah, for sure. Ever since I mean, even during school, I've always wanted to do something that's not, like I never really wanted to go to university. I applied and everything, and all my friends went to university, but it was never, I knew I was never set on it.
Right.
So then when I started traveling and then found the love for filmmaking and the career that we're now in, it's like, that was kind of, I pushed towards that and took that step out of the normal routine of life. Yeah.
It's a weird one because people looking in, like a lot of the time they're like, oh, I really want that life. Like I want to be traveling, but there is a lot of shit that comes with it. Like I've experienced it as much as you have, like sitting out till 6 a.m, waiting for the Northern Lights, they just never come. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you've got a brand saying, well, where's this shot of this that you need to give me X, Y, and Z? Like it's quite tricky. How has that changed? Because you started in the travel niche with me, like we were kind of came up at the same time, and then you did you get bored of that, and then you just diversified into something challenge oriented?
I definitely didn't get bored. Like I love, and even since the bike trip, like I've gone back to doing projects similar to that. But I just wanted, again, I think I was getting comfortable, and it was very easy just to do the traveling jobs and go to nice places, take pictures, which is so much fun. And I'm so grateful like that we are able to do that. But I was certainly getting comfortable and wanted to push it a bit, and then came up with this crazy idea.
But a lot of people do that. A lot of people do get comfortable and then just stay there.
Yeah. I mean, it's the easy option, isn't it? Exactly.
So what, in your mind, made you push it?
I don't know. I just think I'm never satisfied.
Oh, Jesus. Poor Ava.
No. But like, I don't like being comfortable. I always like to do something. Keep pushing. Yeah. Right. What's next? How can I improve on this? How can I keep challenging myself?
How do I make it bigger? How do I get it? Is that like a boredom thing, or is that more just like I need the mental stimulation?
Yeah. Right. I think it's a bit of both, yeah. And just not being able to,
But how do you make what you've just done bigger?
Well, that's the hard thing I'm struggling with now. What do I do next?
Well, talk to me about that, because this is a question I was going to get onto. They call this in the Olympics, they call it like gold medal depression.
Yeah.
And what happens is, when someone's training for years and years and years, they get the gold medal, they come home, celebrate, oh my God, and then quiet.
And then it's just,
and then nothing.
No more media attention, no more,
How did you find that?
It was hard. It was definitely a challenge, because obviously, especially, we finished back at home, had all of you guys there, had, I don't know, a couple of hundred people at the finish. People stayed for a couple of days after. We then went into the media cycle of going down to London, interviews.
BBC, Sky News. Yeah.
And then one day we had the last one, and that was it. It just stopped. And there was that was it. And then I remember being at home, and it was just me, mum, dad, and Ava. And we were like, oh, what do we do now? It was just this period of time where it was over. And now it was like, what do we move on to next? Luckily, I've got the film to work on. So I always knew I had this focus, which we're now starting. But then, once that's done, then it's like, what do we move on to? So it's definitely at the back of my mind all the time, but we'll figure something out.
But talk me through that. I mean, because there was such an emotional, finish to it. Was it like kind of a numb? Like how did you feel in that? When you were, okay, well, I've still got the video to work on, but what do we do now? The media attention, like things have dropped. Like what's running through your head?
It is a lot of what's next. Like what do we do? Because you've had all this attention on you, and then all of a sudden it's just gone. And I mean, I've stopped posting on social media since basically the finish of the bike trip, because I'm like, what do I post? Like I've now built this audience of people that followed me because I've cycled around the world, and now it's like, what can I transition into? And I'm still struggling with that now. Like, what do I move on to in terms of posting and updating people with. But
do you think, because this is something that I can also give you some help on, because I've had the same issue, because like there was obviously a little bit different to you, but I built the travel niche, and then I went into watches, different page, the YouTube channel slightly different, the podcast. So there's like lots of different pieces.
Yeah.
And I think that the issue that some people face is they wrap their identity around one thing, and that thing can't last forever. It might be great, but it can't last forever. So like, do you think that you've maybe wrapped or had maybe wrapped your identity around this challenge, and now all of a sudden, because you need to kind of change that a little bit for the next one or whatever you want to do, there's like a resistance to it?
Yeah, definitely. But I think the main thing is like carrying the core like elements and of like, it doesn't have to be cycling, but the same sort of themes like resilience, determination, motivation, all these different things that were part of the trip, and transitioning that into something new. And that's kind of the direction I want to go in, more so than just our old cinematic travel reels, throwing your hands in the air and running down the beach.
Naked girls. Influencers. Yeah. That kind of, well, the thing about that, and I think that you learn it from a young age, is it's purpose driven, right? Like I think that when you were doing this cycle around the world and you were raising all this money for UNICEF and completing 3 world records, which by the way is fucking insane, is wild, but you had a purpose.
Yeah.
And that not many people find that. Like genuinely, that I've got friends that still don't have a purpose. They go to the pub on a Friday, Saturday, and they think, oh fucking hell, I've got work on Monday, and then they go back into work on Monday, waiting for the pub the next weekend, and that's their lives.
Yeah.
And like, people can find their purpose, they can lose it. Like people sometimes never find it, but like you definitely found it on this task, and maybe that's what you need. Maybe it's just the next task. But then the question lies is, how do you make it bigger than what you've just done? Because you kind of started up here.
Yeah, set the bar pretty high, but
yeah,
I mean, it doesn't have to be in the form of a physical challenge in that regard. I mean, our next challenge is editing the film. That is now our purpose, our focus for the next year or so. So it's kind of transitioned from cycling around the world to now editing the film. And I mean, it's always good to have a focus, a drive, something that gets you out of bed. So that's our plan for the next couple of months.
And what do you think I know that the plan for the next couple of months is editing this video, but when you zoom out again, what do you think your purpose is overall?
What, in life?
In life, yeah.
Getting deep.
Because before it would have been, right, you were making cinematic travel content, and you were inspiring people to probably travel and see different things. Taking a zoom out, and you've got this relationship with your dad that you've built, like obviously for life, but also in this really intense 400 days. Like, what would your purpose be now when you totally zoom out of that?
I think inspiring people to challenge themselves, to do things that they might not think they're able to do, but they are. And I think that's a big thing, is like self-confidence. A lot of people struggle with that. I mean, I, for one, have struggled with that in the past, but now when you then do something, you realize what you're actually capable of. You then realize, like, you know, how high can you actually set that bar? And once you've set it at a certain height, you just keep pushing it and pushing it. And that's something I do want to transition into, is showing people that anything is possible if you set your mind to it and actually go for it. Yeah, and it builds confidence, right? Yeah. I mean, look at that. I mean, we were talking the other day about Nims as well, like what he did. Yeah. Remortgaging his house. Yeah. Just to fund this wild idea that he had, and then he becomes one of the best Netflix documentaries ever. Yeah. In the world. And ever. Like biggest inspiration to so many people. And like the fact that it's so much broader than just the climbing niche. Like, it's a film about climbing, but he's inspired people in all across the world to take on challenges. That's, he was a huge inspiration to me. So did you ever meet him? No, but I saw him at I kind of met him briefly. He was sponsored by Montblanc. It's like a watch company. So we were in Watches and Wonders, and he was on the stand, and I just said hi. I didn't want to I was working. I can't really get a photo with this guy if I'm working, but I said hi, and I'm so lucky that I managed to even have that brief interaction with him, because he's obviously gone now. Yeah. Fucking hell, that was sad. Yeah. That was really sad. Did you see the avalanche? Yeah. But that's the mountains. He knew the risks. That's part of why they do it. It's that thrill of always being in the back of the mind that things can go wrong. And unfortunately for them, it did that day. Yeah. Well, every time I suppose he did one of these mountains, it was a roll of the dice. Yeah. Every time. It is.
Yeah. And then he was looking at no oxygen.
Yeah.
That's an even bigger roll of the dice. And then he was looking at doing it faster, even bigger roll of the dice. The fact that he actually, like, I wish, of course, it's horrible that he's gone, and I wish he was still here for everyone that he was an inspiration to, but it was a matter of time before something happened.
Yeah.
Like, because he was just, that was it number 14 that he was on? I think he was doing a project, and I think that was mountain number 14.
Well, he did the 14 peaks on the documentary. Like, I don't know how many 8,000ers or how many times he summited 8,000ers, but
he was going to be the first person to do them all twice. I think that was what he was going for.
Yeah.
But the reason he was doing that, interestingly, is because I think 2 months after he broke that record, a woman broke his record.
Yeah.
And she did it, I'm going to get this slightly wrong, but she did it in like 2.5 months.
Yeah, it was something crazy compared to what he did. Yeah.
But
no one knew about her. Because that's the thing. It's not, if you're the first to do something, then everyone remembers you.
Mm-hmm. Is that motivation?
Yeah.
Is it a little
Figure out what, I mean, there's something Dad and I have said. It's like, what else has never been done before that we can do?
Is there any ideas floating around? Are you allowed to say or not really? Is it cycling orientated or
no?
No,
I'm not getting on a bike ever again.
Not at all?
Maybe one day, but no. I mean, I said that after the US trip, and then look where we are now. But I mean, so much has been done in the world. It's very hard to
find something.
Yeah, and people are now transitioning into, instead of like first, it's fastest. Like fastest person to XYZ. But going back to like the NIMS thing, I'd seen so many. I was reading some of the comments on the posts about him, and there's a lot of criticism being like, well, why he's so selfish for doing that? Why would anyone go up mountains? And I'm like, these people obviously don't have a purpose.
Yeah.
And mountaineers, they know the risk.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the reason they do it. They love that thrill, knowing that shit can go wrong.
Yeah.
And they're out in the world exploring, doing what they love. And I think that's a big motivation for anyone, is like, once you've found that passion, is just pursue it. And
a lot of the time, that's why these people, when you look at people that pursue risky things like mountaineering, like extreme sports, a lot of the time, their life is twice as bright. Like, they burn twice as bright because they're so close to death.
Yeah.
And they know that they're rolling the dice.
Yeah.
I could fucking die tomorrow. I'm going to have fun right now. I mean, he climbed K2 hungover, and there's videos of him smoking cigarettes before it. Like, that's the kind of guy he was, because he knew this could be my last day. Like, this could genuinely be it.
Yeah.
And you're right that a lot of people on social media that comment, and I'm sure you'll get it on this documentary, like I'm sure you'll have it on social media, a lot of these people that comment, there's a reason why they're on Instagram commenting on your photo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than you commenting on theirs.
Yeah.
Also, like if you don't enjoy content, fucking watch it. It's free.
Yeah, you've got free will to choose what you want to. Yeah,
exactly. But there's these people that are like just internet, and it's really sad.
Yeah.
Like, you actually think about it, it's quite sad. Like, these guys have no purpose, nothing going for them. They've never done anything. They don't want to do anything. They just want to sit inside and melt. And like, that's it.
Yeah, and this is one thing I struggled a little bit with on the bike trip. Sort of halfway through, we were getting quite a lot of negative comments for various reasons, and like, no one likes criticism, especially from like when it's on social media. You're getting all these comments, and when you're on the bike, you have a lot of time to think. You're sat there for 8-9 hours a day, and you're just thinking, and stuff like that does hit hard.
What was the criticism about?
Various things. Like, I wanted to show the trip how it was. So I wasn't just showing the highlight reels, and especially on the YouTube videos, like the phone videos is a bit harder to show everything.
Yeah.
But on the YouTube videos, I was sort of showing the arguments I was having with Dad. And we would get comments like, "You're such a bad son. Like, how can you talk to your dad like that?"
Try cycling for 400 days and completing 3 world records.
And comments about like our route choices, like you're going the wrong way, you cheated by flying, you cheated XYZ. Especially when we finished as well, and I like made the recap videos about cycling around the world, and people were like, "Well, you didn't cycle around the world because you didn't go to America, you didn't go to Africa." And like, we went around the world, not all over the world. That's Dad's line, what he always says. But I sort of spent time thinking about like, what does criticism mean, and like how we should have our relationship with criticism. And it's actually I think it's a good thing. It's a sign of success. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're doing something that's receiving criticism, it means you're doing well. Like, people are jealous, or a lot of the time they couldn't do what you're doing, and they're jealous of that, so instead of praising, they try and bring you down. which is a big thing in the UK across a lot of things.
That's why we love traveling so much.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, just I've been trying to develop this relationship with criticism, like a healthy relationship,
and it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard because you see these comments and as soon as you read them, you're like, oh.
Yeah. And also you get, let's say you have 1,000 comments in a video or like 100 comments in a video, there's going to be one and you always read that one.
99% of amazing comments and you just skim over them and then you read one and it sits with you for the next few days. And
100%. And but you are right. It's the to have an opinion is to risk offending someone.
Yeah.
So if you have no criticism ever, then you have no opinions and you're kind of, what's the point?
Yeah.
Whereas if you have an opinion, let's say I posted I like purple dial watches. I bought this watch.
Yeah.
Everyone
See, I hate it. No,
exactly. no, but a lot of people don't like it.
Yeah.
But like that's the criticism point. It's like, well, you need to have an opinion. It's like there was a guy called Jamie Roy on who was in Outlander. So he's in Outlander Blood of My Blood, the new series, and he was talking about art and he was saying, art needs to be polarizing or else no one would care.
Yeah.
Like it needs to either, evoke love or hate.
Yeah.
If it's in the middle, nobody cares.
Yeah.
So you need to have either side and you need to polarize in order to grow an audience. Yeah. This is also something that businesses really struggle with. Like if you look at commercial businesses, a lot of them are terrified to offend.
Yeah, they want to please everyone.
So nothing grows. Yeah, nothing grows and nothing sells because they don't know their audience.
And it's the same with content. You want to piss people off because it then just means the people that you're not pissing off are more...
They like it.
Yeah.
It's
they
like
can relate with you or they can... Yeah.
It's the polar opposite reaction, right? It's like the pendulum swings and the further it swings one way, the further it will swing the other. Yeah. So you look at a guy like Nims, a lot of people will hate him.
Yeah.
Most people will love him,
because
the pendulum swings equally as far the other way.
Yeah.
But you are right. So what do you think your current relationship with that criticism is then? Like, how did you deal with that?
I talked about it a bit on social media. Like, I made a couple of videos on it, and I mean, I still even today I get comments, and it does hurt. I think it always will to a certain extent, but just using it as motivation as well, fueling the fire to keep doing what you're doing and getting better every day. For sure. You
think it does motivate you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I have a little bit of that as well. Like I have a little bit of like, fuck you in me. Like if someone comments when this video is shit, I'm like, I want to make the next one better. Like it's not like I'm going to quit. And I think that a lot of people, but then I guess that's like a confidence thing. A lot of people are just starting out in something. And when they just start out in something and they get criticism, they're not confident enough yet to kind of like push that to the side and then they quit. And like a lot of people quit really, really early on because as soon as they start something, they get criticism. Oh, stop.
Yeah.
Like I think that happens a lot in life, especially in the UK.
Yes.
The UK, if you do anything different to the norm.
Tall poppy syndrome, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. But even like I was in the US and I saw this guy, someone was driving a Porsche.
Yeah.
I was a new Porsche. It was some kind of like orange Porsche.
Yeah.
And this guy in the US tapped the window and I thought, fuck, there's going to be a fight here.
Yeah.
The guy goes, buddy, this is awesome. Like, amazing car. You're doing so well. It's so...
Congratulations, yeah.
In the UK, I mean, you saw when Jacob was driving...
just driving Lamborghinis for the last few days.
Yeah. But Jacob was driving a Lamborghini because he was doing photography of them. Yeah. So this is a friend of ours for anyone listening. Someone came up to the window and went, fuck you, you fucking dick. For no reason, just because he was driving a nice car. And that's the attitude is so weird in the UK. It's like there's this disconnect. Do you think that's part of the reason why you wanted to step away from the UK?
Yeah. I mean, I try and spend as little time here as possible.
Is it for that reason?
Like, I think a lot of it is, I think the UK on a whole is very narrow-minded. Everyone sort of like conforms to what society tells you. Go to university, get a 9-to-5, work until 65, retire, and then enjoy your life.
Yeah.
What life is there to enjoy when you're 65, maybe 6 feet under? Like.
Yeah.
So I realized that very early on, and that's kind of why I've always pursued random things that aren't normal.
Well, that you're also passionate about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people our age, younger, older even, struggle to find their passion. But I also think it's because they haven't stepped out of their comfort zone to try and find it. They get in, like we said about, they work to the weekend, they enjoy the weekends, and then it's the dread of Monday morning. But a lot of people just get stuck in this cycle. And like my friends from home, like I talk to them about doing other things, but they say, yeah, it's so cool, but are they ever going to change?
Yeah, would they ever do it? It's like they get caught in the loop.
Yeah,
almost. It's also society is not really built in a way that encourages creative thinking, because creative minds can't really be. This is my conspiracy. Creative minds can't really be controlled.
No.
Like if you tell me what to do, I'll do the opposite.
Yeah.
Like I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like people being like, oh, you should film a video this way. I'm like, maybe you're right, but I don't care what you say. Like I'm not going to do that. Like I think that the schooling society, when you look at the schooling society, it's been relatively unchanged for like 150 years. Meanwhile, you've got the rise of YouTube, the rise of social media, the rise of AI.
Yeah.
Graphic designers' roles are going to be more or less redundant soon because of AI.
It's like this, education is like pushing back against it instead of letting it.
Yeah. Riding the wave.
Yeah. It's like this reluctance to soak it up and actually learn it. Mm-hmm. And it's so powerful. Mm-hmm. Like I think AI is amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's the power that it's going to give humanity and us is like, and the things you can do with it. Obviously there are the conspiracies and the negative sides to it. But I think if education was to teach kids how to use it properly, then it's so powerful.
And it's an enhancement. Like
exactly.
What I say to, and this is what I say to the team or like whoever I'm talking to, it can't replace creativity because it's always pulling from things that's already done. But what it can do is slightly enhance. So like, for example, this podcast, we run the voice, like the audio that's recorded on the Zoom through AI to just get rid of any background noise.
Yeah.
So it's not changing the conversation. No. It's just enhancing it that little bit, improving the quality. If you have a role that is, I don't want to say it's mundane, but it's process driven, right? So it's doing the same thing day in, day out. There's a structure, you follow the structure, do the same thing. It will replace that because it's structured. There's no creativity in it. But also to a certain degree, you'd say, well, surely someone that's doing the same thing day in, day out, that's not really their purpose. They would want to be, doing something creative or doing something physical or doing something that encourages thinking rather than just like, this is the script.
Yeah.
Follow the script. Like I don't know why there's this pushback for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But also the other thing, like, and Dad always says this, like, I think this applies to anything when doing something new. The hardest mile is that doorstep mile, is coming up with the idea and then actually following through with it. Once you're on that path, it's so much easier, but it's just getting on the right path. And I think so many people struggle to do that and they think it's going to be so much harder than it actually is. Whereas, once you've made that decision, once you've, whatever it is, booked the plane,
emails,
once you've booked the plane ticket, once you've, quit the job, whatever it is, then it becomes so much easier, but people don't realize that. Yeah.
It is the first step. I think that where I find this, I'm not sure if you find it as well, is in the editing process. So if I've got, like, let's say we like Caroline, who's by the way my incredible editor, or me will kind of like some projects I'll edit, some projects she'll edit. But whenever I get a project that's like a big project to edit, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, and then like I'm on my phone and then I'm procrastinating and then I'm doing this and then I'm doing that. But as soon as I actually go right, click and I start, it's done.
Yeah.
You go into a flow state and it's amazing. And it's like the best thing ever. It's like this esoteric, brilliant, euphoric feeling of like, I just did all that. And like, and I can't even remember how I did it. Like you just do it. But you're right. It is that resistance to entry. It's the barrier to entry. And that's why there's a guy called Jordan Peterson that's like all over the internet. I think he's actually quite sick now. But he, in his speeches, he said you need to start with tiny tasks and then work your, because then the barrier to entry in your brain is just not, it's not that bad. Start with making your bed in the morning. All of a sudden you've made your bed, you think, oh, maybe I should go to the gym.
Yeah.
And then you go to the gym, you think, maybe I should make lunch instead of getting a takeaway. And then all of a sudden it spirals and you've got this.
Slowly by slowly it builds.
Yeah. And you're building this.
And it's like you can't change everything overnight, but just, and I've read a lot of books on habits and I want to get better at like all of like self-discipline and all these things. And yeah, you can't change everything overnight. It's got to be step by step, small change. And eventually
it compounds.
Yeah.
Have you got Atomic Habits? Is that the book you read?
Yeah, I read that a couple of months ago. It's an incredible book.
Atomic Habits is amazing. Have you read Law of Attraction yet?
No.
I actually might have it. I'll give it to you. I've read it already. It's a little bit slow and it's a little bit weird, but it's essentially resonating the fact of what you put into the world, you get out.
Yeah.
So if you tell everyone, I'm going to be a world's heavyweight boxer, and you just keep, I'm going to be the fucking best at this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Eventually, you almost trick yourself into doing the thing.
Yes.
And it's a element of delusion that actually helps you do the thing. You probably had that to some degree doing your cycle, because I mean, you've got 400 days. There would have been an element of you that was like a little bit delusional to how fucking hard it would be.
Yeah, definitely. And I think with any, like, even becoming like a travel filmmaker or whatever, like from where I was at school, it was the dream. But I kept saying, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it in small step by step. You know, went on the first trip abroad with my camera, learned how to do this, met the right people, and slowly built up to then starting to get paid to travel, which was the dream 2 years ago. And then it became reality.
No, you're like, what's
and
next?
then you get there, and then you're like, right, where do I go from here?
Yeah.
The bar's just going to keep getting higher.
Yeah. What would your words of encouragement be? I mean, like, let's say there's someone from your school that's listening to this, and they're a bit lost in themselves, and they're thinking, right, the school's telling me to be a lawyer or a doctor, and I don't really want to do that, but my parents are also encouraging me to be a doctor or a lawyer because it's good money. And I hate it, but like, it would be a good job. Like, it'd be all right. It'd keep me just above water.
Yeah.
What would your advice be to someone perhaps struggling in school like that be?
I think for me, one of the biggest things is travel. I think travel opens your eyes up to different cultures. I mean, it's cliche, but I think it's true. I think anyone that I know that's traveled has found a new perspective of life and the world, which means they are more open to trying new things. Like, travel teaches you so many things, and especially like solo travel, going out on your own, finding that self-confidence,
finding a friend group,
of people that are like-minded, just getting out of your, I mean, it doesn't have to be like just getting out of your home bubble, like making a physical change in some element of your life that will then, maybe it's a complete fresh start, but then, you know, you've got that blank sheet of paper that you can then build off and create the life that you actually want, instead of trying to change what you've already got. I think is a lot harder than actually just starting afresh. What were
your parents' reactions when because you were 19, right? So you were maybe 18 when you wanted to leave. What were your parents' reactions when, like, I want to go travel for a living? Well, how did that go down?
To begin with, they obviously resented it quite a bit. I think anyone's, and so I effectively took a gap year. I had a place at uni for a year's time, took my gap year and started traveling. I remember when I was in Thailand, Mum kept ringing me up being like, you need to do your UCAS application. You need to like sort out all this stuff for the university, whatever. And I just kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. So I was like, I don't want to do that. That's not like,
it's not you.
No.
Yeah.
I think it took a bit of time, because obviously I was just running on savings and traveling as cheap as I possibly could. But at some point that was going to run out.
You knew it, yeah.
And then I started getting work and money started coming in, and it was sort of enough to sustain the lifestyle. Like, it wasn't much. It was just, you know,
enough to travel.
Yeah. And then I think they kind of started to see what I wanted to do, and that it was actually possible. Because again, like, for their generation, social media, travel, lifestyle, it never existed. Like, they're like, how can you make money doing that? Like, they don't understand it. So also trying to teach them, like, you can make money doing this. People are successful in this industry. And over time, they sort of, became more and more happy with accepting of what I was doing. And then, I mean, the paycheck started going up and up, and was able to save. And now they see the benefits of it as well, because I can bring them on trips and
fly them out business. That my parents were the same, man. Like, I remember telling my dad, I was like, I think I'm going to be a YouTuber, and he was like, don't do that. It's like, that's really, really dumb. Like, don't do that. Like, I don't get. I know YouTube's a thing, but like, don't do that. And now he's like, I get it.
Yeah,
I understand it.
Yeah.
But you've got to think that a lot of these people, you're right. Your parents, my parents, most parents actually, they didn't grow up in the age of YouTube. No. They didn't grow up in the age of social media. They grew up with potentially MSN, or you know, back in the day, Bebo.
Yeah,
that's what they had. So they don't. it's hard for them to think of something outside the box, especially when the schooling system is going, your kid's a failure. Yeah, your kid needs to get straight A's in history and maths and English.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, they'll never use, but they'd probably be straight A's in it.
Yeah.
So it's tricky for parents, like especially at my age. Like my pals are like, that's a possibility now. It's fucking scary to say, but like my pals are starting to have kids, starting to get married. Like at least this generation, they kind of understand. On a side note, are you nervous for this generation growing up with AI?
In some respects, but I'm also excited to see
what happens.
Like I'm quite positive minded about it. I think it's going to be incredible what like it's capable of and how it's going to change our lives for the better. So I think it should be hopefully a benefit to have it and to watch it. I mean, even in the last like year, how much it's advanced, what the capabilities of it can do is just insane. Yeah. So I think it's going to advance us as a civilization for the better. Hopefully it doesn't make us more lazy.
That there. Yeah. That is my not issue with it, but my hesitancy. Because AI can be wrong. I mean, at least at the moment. It's probably going to get better. But it can be wrong. And it kind of strips away an element of the person thinking.
Yeah. I think it's going to cause a divide, or it's going to split humans even more than it is at the moment. So like the ones that are driven and want to achieve are going to achieve even more, whereas the people that are more lazy are going to get lazier. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, that's what makes me like relatively nervous about it. It's like if you, because as much as I bitch about the schooling system, it's needed. It's like you got to learn. You got to learn English. You got to learn how to write. Well, actually, writing now, I'm like, is that more or less redundant? Like, it's probably an important skill, but it concerns me that people won't actually learn it because they'll just ask AI about it. Yeah, it's like it's almost, I don't know how to put this into videography terms, but it's almost like instead of us learning the camera, we just ask AI about how to do it. Yeah. And we never actually take it in. Does it make you nervous when it comes to editing?
Not really. I think it's just going to improve. Like that trailer we made after the bike film, we posted like a day after we finished. We used AI to make the selects for that. Like we have 400 hours of footage. Wow. And we got this, I can't remember what Colby did it, but we got this software and Colby basically we want 10 drone shots. We want 5 shots of me and Dad arguing. We want 5 shots of X, Y, Z, and it pulled these it scanned the footage. It took like 24 hours. Right. Scanned all the footage and pulled these selects, which then we could just go in and just edit. Like I wouldn't trust it for the main edit.
Oh yeah.
But just for something like that, it was incredible. And it saved us so much time, and we were able to put out a trailer almost straight away.
What software is that?
I can't remember what it was called.
Colby.
Yeah. That's
so interesting. Because I would have thought that you'd edit. I saw that. I mean, I thought that you had edited that yourself.
I mean, we put it together, but like the clip selects was done through AI.
Jesus Christ. And it will color as well now.
Yeah.
That scares me a bit because there's something about the process of editing that I really enjoy. Like I actually do enjoy the coloring aspect. Yeah. That's one of my favorites. Yeah. Just like making things look pretty. Yeah. Like I do enjoy taking the raw footage that you took on the day, splitting it into a scene and being like, that's class.
Yes. Well, that's what storytelling, that is the storytelling.
Yeah.
Whereas it's how you piece it together.
Yeah. Now it's
So I never think AI will be able to replace that element of things.
Yeah. I mean, or it does the majority and you check it and then you split it. But even at that, there's still the physical. They're still going out and filming. Yeah. So it can't replace that. No. Really. No. Unless it's AI content. What do you think of people on Instagram, especially, I won't say any names, there's specific people that are collaborating with AI companies that are generating the actual...
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't agree with that.
As a videographer.
Yeah. I think that, for me, the craft and the art is in the actual filming. And I think humans resonate with humans. And our brain knows what's real and what's not. And even if AI gets so good that it's so hard to tell, I think there's something about that personal connection, being able to, another human has done this. Yeah. Is always going to be there.
Yeah. You say that people can tell the difference. I showed my my mum yesterday, there was like a video of it's an AI video, and it's this guy, like a chiropractor, and he goes up and there's this granny and she's like, oh, I've got a really stiff neck, and he goes like, and then just chucks her out the window, and my mum was like, oh my god, I can't believe he actually did that. And I was like, oh yeah. But yeah, I think parents can struggle with it a little bit. My mum's on TikTok and I just don't think she gets it. Is Jane on TikTok?
I don't think so much anymore. When she was watching us, like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I even in China, because we couldn't post on TikTok, even I had her on my account posting everything for me.
You should do that, man. Like, I think that would really help you to have someone that's just, you give them the content that you edit or whoever edits, and they schedule it for you.
Yeah, it'll save me some time.
But it's not just time. It's like, it's the headache of going on to, and also everyone's the same. You're on social media, you're about to post something, all of a sudden you're on that Reels tab and you're consuming content, and you go down and down and down, and then all of a sudden you feel fucking awful because you've just
wasted an hour.
Yeah. And see, just having somebody there that I know that there's a couple of guys, I maybe won't say their names, but I'll tell you after, that do this. They basically have a guy that has a password or a login. They just give him all the content. They go, this is the days I want it posted on. You do the captions, run it past me, and they handle it.
Yeah.
They have access to the account. There's guys I know that have millions of followers that don't actually have Instagram on their phone.
Yeah.
They just give it to someone.
One of my good friends has 2 phones. He has his work phone and he has his, and like he won't go out of the house. Like he'll leave his like normal phone at home. He'll only take his work phone with him. Like if he's gonna go work, he'll only have his work phone, and it's only got like emails on it and like the camera to shoot content on, but it doesn't have any social media on it.
Ed Sheeran has that. He has like a Nokia flip, and he just has numbers, and if it's really important, you call me. And then maybe once a week he goes in his iPad and checks his emails. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. See, at one point, if I can keep expanding the team as we are and scaling, that's what I want to get to. We film like we are today, podcast. Yeah. I get the footage, I drop it to someone, they edit it, it gets approved, they distribute it, and I do nothing. Yeah. I just don't want on social media because it is that toxic element. Yeah.
Well, I've set like time limits on TikTok and Instagram, but do
you adhere to them though?
Depends how I'm feeling. Sometimes I ignore.
Yeah. You've done 30 minutes. Beep.
But another one of my friends did, I think it was literally yesterday, I messaged him about it. He bought like a phone box lockbox that you just put your phone in, you set a timer, and you cannot get your phone out.
Oh, that's good.
And I'm like, I want to buy one of these.
Wait, so is it just something you buy online and you set a timer and it just doesn't come out?
Yeah, it's just on Amazon. You just buy like a safe, like a safe. Yeah.
Right.
And you put your phone in it and you set like an hour, 2 hours, whatever.
And you can't
and
get
it won't open. Maybe there's like some way in the case there's emergency or something. But so you put it in that box and you cannot touch it.
Oh, I would so get that.
Yeah.
I would so get that.
I'll send you the link after because you sent me the link to it. I was like, oh,
genuinely, because you know what I'm really bad for, and I've got better at it now, but when I'm up here editing, I'll try and put my phone there. Yeah. Or what I do now, and I found this really beneficial, is I won't use this footage, but like I time lapse myself. And because my phone's recording, nothing come through.
Yes.
Secondly, because it's time lapsing me, I feel like someone's watching me. So I'm like, I've got
you can't just sit there and
I can't, and also I've not got a phone. So I'm like, okay, right, I'll do it. And then all of a sudden you've burned 3 hours, you've got a huge time lapse, which you just delete after, or you post a tiny bit of it if you want to. And you've done a lot of work. Yeah. And actually it's a really good thing it's a really good tip for people, especially that are in the creative space. To do that. Yeah. Where do you think your base is going to be? You were talking about Bali. Do you think you'll stay in Norfolk, or do you think you'll keep?
No, not in the UK.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I was living in Bali for 3 years before the bike trip. That was like where our base was. And then since then, I've just been traveling out with my suitcase, which I don't enjoy. So I definitely need a base. And we complain about Bali quite a lot. Like, it does have its flaws, but then when we compare it to anywhere else, we're like, or when we travel and leave Bali, we're like, oh, I want to go back to Bali. I miss Bali. And then when you actually think about it, like, for me, Bali is the best place in the world for what we do. I don't think there's anywhere better suited for, any kind of like nomadic work. I think Bali is incredible. It's cheaper. The infrastructure is great. The restaurants are great. The community, yeah. The gyms are amazing. Yeah. Just the lifestyle, it's just fantastic.
Yeah, the heat.
Yeah.
It's got everything.
Yeah. You just really drive around on your motorbike and you can have coffee every single day with someone different that's also, not necessarily the same passion, but like same like-mindedness, like same attitude to work and life. And I think that's it's like this, like Canggu especially, it's just this concentration of all these like-minded people where there's nowhere else in the world like that. Because in cities, everyone's sort of like scattered around in the city, whereas Bali, everyone is together and everyone has the same attitude towards life and the same outlook. And I think that's just incredible. And there's nowhere else in the world like it.
The only thing that gets me about Canggu is Bali Belly. Oh, that's the only thing, man. I've actually never had it, but I've got...
Oh, really? I'm always ill. Like, even like I was there last week just for like 7 days, and 4 of the days was just a write-off.
Is it just water?
I think it's how... A lot of people say it's sort of lettuce and vegetables, because they wash it with tap water.
Right, okay.
But, I mean, that's part of Bali. It's just a risk you're going to...
accept it.
Yeah.
Did you get sick on the bike at all?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
But only, so I was never sick. We only ever had to stop once for either of us being ill. And Dad was like violently ill in Argentina.
Food poisoning.
Yeah. I can't remember what he ate, but it was not great. We'd have to stop every 5 minutes for him to, go in behind the bush for a bit.
No, really?
And then he was out for the next sort of 24 hours. So we found just like this Airbnb, and he just was in bed for 24 hours.
Yeah.
But the only time I was ill was, so we got to Bali. Mum actually flew out to surprise Dad, and we've got great videos of this. We were just sat like by a little convenience store, Dad and I with our ice creams, and I said something along, like Colby was filming, I said something along the lines of, I could do with a Galaxy chocolate box. Galaxy's my favourite chocolate. And Mum just appears with 2 bars of Galaxy, and Dad swears. It's a great video. But then Mum we then were planning to have like 10 days off in Bali, because this was we're about halfway through the trip. So that was a good reset point.
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with Bali. Loads of our friends were there. And Mum flew out and got to spend some time with Dad. And it was also my birthday while we were there. And it was the only time in the whole trip I was ill. It was over my birthday.
And that was Bali Belly?
I think so. I was like 3 days just on the toilet for 3 days. And no energy.
I had a really bad one in... I'm not sure I told you about this, but in... my editor's going to kill me. I can't believe I'm telling this. But I was in Peru. I was like 19 years old. So I was in Peru. We'd been like drinking, all that kind of stuff. We hiked through Hydroelectrica to the town just below Peru. And the hike up to Machu Picchu is pretty like intense hike. Like it's not good. And I had food poisoning. So I waited a day because I was like, boys, I can't do this today. Like I was bad. I was bad, boy. And then the boys were like, right, we'll wait a day. But we need to do it tomorrow because we're leaving. So yeah, sure. So I hiked all the way up the next day in like 40-degree heat. I don't know why I hiked it. It was so stupid. Got to the top and I was like, I feel all right. I feel better. Ate an ice cream, had a bit of water, went out, and I was looking over this like Machu Picchu. Unbelievable day for it. Unbelievable, like the sun flares coming in, the like the heat. Everyone was having a good time, and all of a sudden I thought, I'm going to shit myself. And I was just like, I actually think that, like my stomach, it was like an intense cramp. I will never forget that. And I looked at my pal Gregor and I was like pale and sweat. And he was like, bro, you look terrible. And I said to him, I got to go. And he was like, this is Machu Picchu. Yeah, you can't just,
wonders of the world.
You can't just leave. You've been here for a second. And I was like, I've got my photo. I need to go. And the only, I don't know if it's changed now, but there was only like one toilet at the top.
Yeah.
Like a cubicle thing. It was like girls and guys.
Yeah.
And the queue was huge. So I was waiting in the queue, sweating, and then I eventually get to the front of the queue, but there's tons of people behind me. I go in and I'm vomiting and everything else at the same time. You can hear everything because it's a cubicle. And I remember this American guy like opened the door after like 10 minutes of just discuss every fucking orifice. And then this American dude was like, buddy, you don't look too good. I was like,
no shit.
Too good. I then had to hike down. The guy was like, the bus is coming in 3 hours. I was like, I'm not waiting 3 hours. I hiked down. I'm not sure. Yeah, fuck it. So on the way down, I was sick.
Yeah.
But I also literally just shat myself. And I was just like hiking the whole way down for 3 hours. And then I got in the shower. It's horrible. But that's part of that's part of the thing that people don't see about traveling. Like they see the pretty photos. They see Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
They don't see the shitting yourself to get there or like the food poisoning.
Yeah.
Or have you got any travel stories like that? You must have a bunch. Are you allowed to say any? You're like, my PR manager will kill me.
Oh, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's been some rough days for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's something like I'm very attracted to is like remote destinations. Like we've both now been to Sulawesi.
Yeah.
But the comforts you give up to go to these places.
Yeah, like wipe your bum with your hand kind of thing, like water.
Yeah.
There's no toilet roll.
No.
It's not
the
good.
Food you're just eating like fried chicken bones.
Literally chicken. But they have the chilies with them in Sulawesi that are just incredible. Is that your favorite place that you've been? One of them?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Indonesia on a whole, I think is the best country in the world. I think it's so diverse. There's so much to see. Just when you get off the tourist trail, and when you're away from Bali, Java, Komodo, once you actually go and see the real country, it is incredible. I mean, Bali itself is amazing. And there's so much to see just in Bali that is off the tourist trail, which is just fantastic. But I think Indonesia on a whole is so special.
Yeah, I am. Emily at the moment wants to go to the Philippines, but I'm trying to convince her of Indonesia. Yeah. It's just the best place I've ever. And it's so big.
Yes.
Like I was in Borneo, technically the Indonesian side. Yeah. That was Indonesia.
Yeah.
Sulawesi, Indonesia. Yeah. You go to Bali, Indonesia. Yeah. Like, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's humongous. There's something about it. It's like there's a feeling. Like warm. The people are really friendly.
Yes.
The food's normally speaking unbelievable. The toilets are shit, but that's part of the experience. Like I do think that. Yeah, people. I don't know. What are your thoughts on people that go to the all-inclusives? They go to, I don't know, Turkey to an all-inclusive hotel. I feel like we'd have similar views.
I mean, I've never stayed in an all-inclusive. You'd have to pay me a lot of money.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything worse than just sitting there by the pool for 8 hours a day, not doing anything.
Boredom.
Yeah. Like I can't sit still on the beach for more than 10 minutes.
I'm the same. Yeah. How's Ava?
She'll sunbathe.
Yeah.
But again, after like half an hour, we have to be in the water or doing something. Or, I can't do it for long.
I think that's part of why, like, I don't know if you're the same, but it's part of why the videography niche actually appeals to me, because there's always something, and it's always new.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm with Emily or whatever, and we're sitting on a beach. Like, I'll just go and film.
Yeah.
I can just film. Like, I'll go get some cool stuff. Like, there's endless possibilities.
Yes.
There's nothing. Yeah, there's no stopping you. There's endless possibilities of what you can do.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe our brains are quite similar in that way, in which they kind of need stimulation.
For sure. And I mean, like when we go on our trips, you're more tired. Like most people go away for holiday. We're more tired when we come back. And I think one of the most tired I've ever been was actually the first time we met when we flew out to Norway. Oh, yeah. And I think I'd had my COVID vaccine the night before, or like the day before, and it killed me. And then I flew from London to Oslo, overnight in Oslo airport, slept on the floor. Next morning, flew up to Tromsø. Yeah. You and Jacob then flew up, and it was like a 10-hour drive from Tromsø to Lofoten.
You were in the back, just like...
Yeah, and it was the only... I think we must have been there like a week, 10 days, and the weather forecast was shit for the whole week, except that one night. First night, I think we dumped our bags in the Airbnb,
we're going out.
And then we kept driving for like 2 more hours to the very end. Got the Northern Lights at like midnight, 1 a.m, drove back, got 2 hours sleep. The next morning was the only forecasted morning of a good sunrise. Yeah. So we're up again at like 4, back in the car to the football pitch thing for sunrise. And I've never been more tired than that. But again, it was worth it.
100%.
We got the best Northern Lights I've ever seen.
Unbelievable. And the footage we got at the sunrise was just incredible. Yeah. It is so worth it. But that's why you need to be passionate, because I think that if we didn't have a passion for it, we just wouldn't have got up.
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep.
I want to get up for sunrise.
Yeah. Like, why are we getting up at 4 a.m, 5 a.m? Like, why would we do that? Like, and that's why people, I don't know, they lose that over time. That like childlike, and this is where I love photography and video, because there's like a childlike instinct that's like so pure, because you're just seeing like a sunrise. Yeah. And you're like, this is fucking incredible. And so many people lose that. Yeah. They don't care about sunrise. No. They don't care about sunset. They don't care about views. They just go to an all-inclusive and have a couple of cocktails, a couple of beers. Yeah. Did you hear about the Garmin project after that trip? So like we did this trip in Norway. I was exhausted. Like I genuinely the most tired. Me and you both, and so Jacob as well. Yeah. Like exhausted. Yeah. I arrived back, and the only day of sunshine in Scotland was the next morning, and I think it was Garmin, or maybe was it Garmin? It was a digital watch. Yeah. Anyway, they said to me, we need you to film this project. It was one of the first paid projects I'd had. And they were like, we need you to film this project. It needs to be up in Monroe in Scotland, and it needs to be live for next week. And I thought, the only day of sun that I have is tomorrow. So I thought, fuck it. I'll just do another 2 a.m. start, drive to Glencoe. But what had happened, and this changed my perspective on everything. So I did this Monroe, Came back down and filmed all my stuff, whatever. Knackered. Like, genuinely, in the video, I'll show you. I've got huge bags. I'm like bloodshot eyes. And I came down, it must have been 23, 24, get in the car, and I just go totally into the wrong side of the road because I was just come back from Norway. I go around a blind corner in Glencoe, and there's a humongous truck carrying logs. And I kid you not, the most dumb thing I've ever done. I was this far away from I would have died instantly. It would have been head-on collision death. And I managed to come off the road in like a sporty car and come back on. And I just pulled over after it and was like, I can't do that anymore. Yeah. That's me done. I can't. Yeah, that was like I pushed it way too far. Can you talk about your almost death situation?
Yeah.
Yeah? Talk about your almost death situation.
I don't remember it.
So where was it?
So it was the Christmas after. Yeah, we hadn't known each other at this point. So I then went out to Thailand for Christmas with a bunch of friends. We were on Koh Samui. Christmas Eve, we decided it'd be a good idea to hike up to this. There's kind of like a waterfall up these rocks, and at the top there's an infinity pool, like a natural infinity pool built by the rocks, and you can sit in there and overlook the view. It's incredible. I've been before and it was incredible. So we hiked up to this, and we had Christmas hats on. We were just like taking some photos, having a good time. And for some reason, I mean, this is all not my memory. This is other people telling me what happened.
So you can't remember prior to the incident?
I can't remember like a week either side. Like I can't remember getting to Koh Samui and the week before anything we did.
Josh.
It's hard because I've seen photos and videos. So it's like, do I remember memories or do I just remember looking at the photos and videos of what happened in that week?
Okay.
But so basically we were up on this waterfall and it's sort of like this rocky cascade, and it was the start of rainy season, I want to say. No, it was after rainy season. So there was quite a bit of water in it, and the water was coming over these rocks, so it made them quite slippery. And I think I was just walking across these rocks to get to like Tom and some others who were sat on the other side, and it just took my feet out from underneath me, and I went kind of sliding down this natural water slide.
So did you hit your head on? So your feet went out from underneath you. You hit your head.
I don't know when I hit my head. So
because you can't remember.
I landed and kind of just went down this natural water slide and then off and over the edge. And I fell like 3 to 4 meters, they reckon.
Right.
And landed, luckily, in this really shallow pool. And that's when I think I broke my coccyx. So I must have landed on my bum. And at some point it hit my head. But I'd landed in this pool, which was on the top of the 30-meter waterfall. And the water was building up behind me and pushing me towards the edge. And Tom and our other mate, Ryan, literally ran down the waterfall after me and dragged me out before the water pushed me. And that would have been like, that's guaranteed death. Like people have died on that waterfall for going over that edge. They pulled me out, and this was at like midday. So the sun was coming down. They called the Thai rescue team, ambulances, everything. And I think it took them like 4 hours to get to us. And it was 30-person rescue team. Had to build zip wires across the waterfall, like zigzagging me down the waterfall in this like kind of makeshift, I don't know,
cocoon kind of thing. Yeah.
So they wrapped me up, bandaged me up. I was apparently absolutely freezing, even though it was like 35 degrees. So they had like towels around me and everything. They zip wired me down off this mountain. I think I was like coming to and from, like I was like very dazed.
Okay.
Yeah, they zip wired me down, got me in an ambulance, over to hospital, Christmas Eve.
Christmas Day.
Spent Christmas Day in hospital, and
oh my God.
Was discharged like a day later. I'd broken my coccyx, fractured my skull, had like a little bit of internal bleeding in my brain. The hotel wasn't the best.
Right.
And I mean, this is a life lesson to anyone, but a week before, Mum had rung me up and said, you need to renew your travel insurance. It's just expired.
Yeah.
And guess what I did? I didn't renew it. I was like, I'll do it after Christmas. You know, it's just like one of those things.
You're a 19-year-old kid.
Yeah,
though.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I didn't have travel insurance for that week. So I couldn't go to the good hospital.
Right.
So I had to go to like the local hospital, which was shit. Like apparently I had a drip in my arm, and a few hours in, Connor, who you know well, goes, that liquid bag has not moved down 1 inch.
So not connected.
They hadn't turned the tap on.
Oh, fucking hell.
So it wasn't the best hospital.
Oh my God.
And they probably discharged me earlier than they should have done.
Your mum must have been...
Yeah.
Your dad as well.
Yeah. That's not the phone call you want to wake up to on Christmas Eve.
Oh,
because at that point, no one knew how serious it was. Like, we were still on the waterfall, and they managed to get hold of my parents and tell them what had happened.
And because, I mean, Connor describes it, he was talking to you, and you were just like, you're coming in and out. It was almost like you'd remember, and then you'd... And
then for the next couple of days, apparently, they would tell me something, and then, I'd ask, like, what happened? They'd tell me 10 minutes later. I'd then go again, what happened? Like, why am I here? Where am I?
Like short term.
Yeah, I was just lost all memory.
Did that shape your... Like, they say that near-death experiences, which that was...
Yeah.
Shape your decisions in the future.
100%. Because whenever anything... And it's also, like, when things, like, stress me out, like, little things, like, I just, again, take a step back, and I'm like, why am I stressing about this? I could be dead. Like, and at the end of the day, this is tiny. And also just my attitude towards risk. I think a lot of people might, when something like this happens, would shy away from doing anything. But for me, it's like, I've moved towards it now. I'm like, you know, I could be dead. Well, I need to make the most of the life I have and just go for everything.
Living on borrowed time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's wild, man. It is so interesting, mate. Like, see the transition to you when I met you. Because I was 23, we were kids.
Yeah.
We were. Like, realistically, I was an older kid, but I was a kid. But like, it's pretty awesome seeing the guy you've turned into. Like, you're a man now, and like, you've done all this shit, and like, it's pretty inspiring to me, and I'm definitely thousands of others, that you've gone from this 19-year-old guy that was like, I'm gonna do my own thing, maybe 18-year-old, and you've done so much so young. Like, that's incredible. Do you ever think of that? Like, is that something that you, like, goes through your head? Like, you think of this, right? At 22 years old, you cycle around the world with your dad. You have 3 world records. Who can say that at your age?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, when you say it like that. But again,
red, like, you're blushing.
But for me, it's just like, that's what normal is. Yeah, that is... I don't know.
It's not normal. It's not normal at
all. But also, like, the people we hang out with, like, and I think this is something that I sometimes struggle with, is that everyone we hang out with is so high achieving, so driven, so successful, that you always think you're behind. And I've heard, like, Chris Williamson and various other big podcasts talk about this. Like, you always think, like, you're behind where everyone else is at, but in retrospect, you're not.
You're way ahead of actually most of the... Yeah. Do you find that then? So see, when you hang around with your friend, like, say it's Tom or Connor or whatever, you look at what they have or what they're building, and you think, oh, like, I need to get my...
Yeah, definitely, all the time.
But isn't that amazing? Like, that's the beauty of finding a brilliant friend group. Yeah. You push
each other so much. Yeah,
100%. Like, see when you were doing all your Instagram stuff in terms of the challenges, and I was sitting there and I was thinking, like, I should probably start doing something. Because it's like all this content on social media, the travel stuff that we do or you did and are still doing, there's not really much purpose to it anymore. It's pretty. I like doing it. But, like, what's the point?
What's the meaning behind it? Yeah.
Whereas what you were doing, there was meaning.
Yeah.
You had your pillars. You had your 3 pillars, and there was, like, meaning to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I definitely took inspiration from that, and it made me probably a better YouTuber or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Sure, it made hundreds of thousands or thousands of other people better as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the genius of having, like, a good friend group.
Yeah.
I feel like through the schooling system as well, again, back to school, but if you find yourself in a bad friend group, it is one of the single worst things that could ever happen to you. Yeah.
And that's why I said, like, changing your environment is so important. It's just get a new friend group. Like, your old friends will always be there. And if they're not there for you, then they're not good friends. So you shouldn't be with them.
Exactly.
So
yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. So what's the point anyway?
Yeah.
I was going to say, was there something, and again, you might not be able to talk about this, was there something to do with the newspaper after the near-death experience? Are you allowed to talk about this? Yeah? So what happened? So there was a newspaper that did something.
So there was a Thai reporter, I think, who sold the story to British press. And a couple of the British newspapers got hold of it and created articles about me falling off the waterfall. But they glorified it. And it was like, the headline was something along the lines of, British traveller plummets 130 feet off waterfall and shatters his hip. Which all of it, apart from the British traveller, was incorrect.
Yeah.
So my dad went after them because obviously we didn't want this out about me. Like, it was factually incorrect. And one of the newspapers took it down, and the other one eventually, like, Dad was threatening. There's like a agency you can go through, like a government thing that
Ombudsman.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It might be the Ombudsman.
And he was going through this, and eventually they actually paid Dad a sum of money, sort of to say sorry. Yeah.
Think about how many people they must do that to.
Yeah.
And like we do it as well. I mean, CTR, click-through rate is huge.
Yeah.
You want to enhance shit. You want to make it more clickable.
Yeah.
Because then your stats go up.
Yes.
But in making it more clickable, a lot of the time, you are clickbaiting.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, they're not getting the facts straight, right?
No, exactly. I mean, it paid for Mum and Dad's flights out to come save me. So they got. I always say they got a free holiday to Thailand out of it.
Yeah. What do you think's next for you?
I mean, making this film is the short-term goal and priority. And then, again, I'm still trying to find direction and what I want to go on to do. But definitely move more into like the motivational side of content.
Challenge-centric.
Yeah. But sort of challenges in different forms, not necessarily a physical challenge, but
we should do like a big mountain together. Do like an
Go
Everest,
to Everest.
together. yeah. Or maybe not Everest, but like one of them. I think that'd be. I also like kind of terrified, but it has been in the back of my mind that I'd want to do something like that.
Yeah, I definitely want to get more into like expeditions and doing like those kind of things. And like one other thing I wanted like to say is like, whenever I do anything now that's challenging, I've got this like if I'm struggling with something, I can always just look back and be like, well, I've cycled around the world. Like, and I don't know if it's Alex Hormozy or someone, and his quote is like, the hardest thing you've ever done is the hardest thing you've ever done. Like, what you're doing now is easy compared to even though it might seem hard and thing, you've got to look back and think, well, I've just done that. I can do anything.
Yeah.
So by constantly pushing the bar up, you achieve more, and then you're capable of doing much more. And then the things that were hard to begin with are now easy.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
I suppose that but again, it's just a lot of people don't push themselves, man. Like a lot of people don't do that.
They're comfortable.
They're comfortable, and the hardest thing they've ever done is get out of bed. So like they just they are that comfortable way, you know.
But then when something so small, like a hiccup happens, I don't know, car breaks down or whatever, they deteriorate like just like that because they're not accustomed to facing challenges and adversity. Whereas I feel like the lifestyle we're in, where we're constantly facing new challenges, we can then cope with what a lot of people can't, like just these mundane small little hiccups. But for us, it's just a little bump in the road.
So literally, pardon the pun, but I was in Namibia and the tire popped of the car. It's like we were just on the road and the tire popped. My ex-girlfriend was freaking out, and I was just like, it's like a tire, like we'll fix it.
Yeah, you're not gonna die.
Like, it's like a little thing. And she was like, what? And I was like,
where's the camera? Let's film it.
Yeah, I was like, this is great content. Yeah. Or you crash a drone and you're like, I'm actually more annoyed about the footage than the drone being gone.
Yeah. But then again, that's like something that a good story, like a good film, book, whatever, a good story is only as good as like the hardships.
Oh, 100%.
Like you want the shit to happen.
Yeah. Look at Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. You want all that.
Yeah.
You know, the arguments and everything. And that's why I made sure to film it all.
Because it's
the documentary's going to be,
Yeah. I said this in when I got hired by Canon, sponsored by Canon, and it's one of the bits that they like pushed the most heavily on socials. I said, like, well, how do you build a social following? And I was like, well, people don't just want to see the good. They want to see the good and the bad.
Yeah.
Because by seeing the bad, it makes it real. And also it makes it fun to watch.
Yes.
And that's the bit that they stuck to.
Yeah.
Because it's true.
Yeah.
People want to see it all. Where can people find you? I know that you've got Instagram, Josh
P. Kohler.
Yeah.
Same on all social media channels.
You got the handle on all social media channels.
Nice. I wish it was just Josh Kohler, but
yeah, I tried to buy Harrison Brown and it didn't work. I've messaged the guy like 100 times and now I'm banned from messaging him. I was like, oh, please help me.
Yeah.
Where else? What links can people find?
If you just Google Father and Son Cycling the World, we'll pop up.
We found out that ChatGPT actually
knows you.
And UNICEF link, is it still active?
Yeah. We're keeping that open for a while.
Good.
So you can donate to our Just Giving for UNICEF.
Yeah.
I think we're on like £73,000 at the moment.
Fucking hell, that's a lot.
So we want to get that to 100.
Yeah. Well, I'll put it in the link. Link in the description. Anyone wants to donate. And mate, honestly, just on a final note, I know I said it earlier, but seeing your kind of like trajectory and how you've grown as a person is like so heartwarming. And I know we don't see each other that much, but whenever we do, there's always something like, fucking hell, I got shot at in the Amazon rainforest, or I cycled around the world. And it's like, whenever we see each other, it's a proper catch up. And it's so honestly, it's unbelievable to see. Yeah. And keep doing it, because you're smashing it. And you are. I know that like from your perspective, it will be that woods from the trees thing. You can't really see it, but
normal.
It's normal. But there are hundreds of people, guaranteed, thousands of people that will be so motivated and are motivated by you. So although you can't see it, keep up.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Thank you, Harrison.
Oh, you're very welcome.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, you too.